back. You're tuned in to Rise with India, and this week's Rise with India guest is Amisha Vora, chairperson and managing director of Prabhudas Leeladhar. Amisha's one of the most influential opinion maker in the Indian financial domain with over 30 years of experience. Amisha holds 96% in the group which is into existence since independence era.
Well, spearheading the formation of PL Advisory Services along with venturing into the NBFC business, her pivotal role in launching the investment banking business at PL through PL Capital Markets in 2007 has been an awe-inspiring story. Well, Amisha has also won many prestigious awards, including the Rashtriya Udyog Ratna Award for Corporate Leadership and the Annual Impact Creator Award by the Government's Office and Government of Maharashtra in 2021.
And we have Amisha Vora ji with us in the studio today. Amisha ji, you're a true inspiration to all those women who always wanted to make their career or are in the financial markets. You started as a research analyst, then going on to buying the founder stake, and now you hold 96% of the stake in the company. What has been your crucial learning throughout this journey? What would Amisha Vora of that time would tell Amisha Vora of current time?
I think Amisha Vora of that time will first pet Amisha Vora of this time. that good you held on.
Yeah.
And the key message is that imagine over 3 decades how many challenges would have been around. Not only from professional perspective, also from family perspective as we raise our children, as we go through many personal issues on health from the family and our elders. We go through the business challenges in terms of competition. As we keep our focus straight and just be at it every day, every moment, this is what the outcome happens. So I think this is the key message that each of you and me too in my journey ahead have to keep just reminding ourselves that if you keep putting in your best, it will get rewarded, and just keep a little more patience than you think it should reward you.
Right, ma'am. In fact, speaking of the challenges, challenges for a woman are very different. For women are very different from that of a man. You are in an industry which is not just very competitive. There's cutthroat competition, but there's also the gender pay parity is stark in the industry. How did you deal with those challenges, and what would be your advice to women who see you as an inspiration and want to follow your footsteps?
So I totally agree that the challenges and the nature of it is very different, particularly when it comes to finance and the way I started with not only research but largely business development. So across in business development, whom you meet is always men, and the decision makers are men. And but I tell you, when I realized that some of my weaknesses due to my gender could be that my networking ability could be a little lower than the men, because I won't sit.
You won't go out for a drink with a man like a man would.
Exactly. So that is the key challenge I realized I face. And I just always thought that I need to make it up with my own value addition in my discussion so much that I don't travel the distance of converting business relationship into personal and then growing, but I continue to maintain always a value addition on the table.
But then we won't let you go, Amisha ji, till the time we don't talk about financial markets.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're such an influential opinion maker about the financial market. So understanding the current scenario, the way, the time that we are trading at, India always trades at a valuation, a premium valuation. We are expensive. And the kind of headwinds that we are facing right now from globally, be it possible US recession or yen carry trade reversing, how should retail investor trade at this moment? Should they feel jittery? Should they sit in some cash, continue their SIP, what should be the right strategy?
So you have given 3 questions. Last question is, should they continue their SIP? 1000% yes. I will reply that first. Reason being that India has just gone into a virtuous cycle. Virtuous cycle of financialization, which means a large part of your savings converting from physical assets to financial assets. And in that journey, we are just bigger. So that is going to continue.
Sure.
Second, in terms of our economic outlook, it's so robust. Both, and I always keep repeating this, that government balance sheet, banks balance sheet, corporate balance sheet and individual balance sheets are all robust.
Yes.
So we cannot crack down in a hurry, right? And above all, within the same sector, few companies grow faster, they have better valuation than others. Similarly, it will happen and is happening in nation.
Sure.
When the management of a nation is being done very, very proactively, we will weather down some of the pains across the globe.
Sure.
So in long-term perspective or medium term, that is 3 to 5 years and beyond, SIP should definitely continue.
Okay.
When you take immediate or short-term perspective, there are geopolitical challenges, there are challenges in terms of global growth maybe slightly slowing down or a kind of a stagflation. And some of them can result into a 5 to 10% correction. But we call it a correction. So in this phase, whenever you see yourself, 2 things are most important.
Sure.
Do not overtrade. Overtrade is, by whichever way, can just put you into trouble during a market correction.
Sure.
And second, in market corrections, there is always a differentiation which comes between good quality, bad quality. To try and turn your portfolios into better quality stocks.
Sure.
So these 2, if you do, you navigate a slight corrective phase, and then you are there as a winner in the market. I'll just tell you one more thing, because you're talking about my career, which is span over 30 years.
Yeah.
So when I started, the Sensex level was 790.
790
My God,
only.
790.
We are 82,000 above right now.
Imagine the power of staying invested. So never take, and in these 30 years of my journey, everything worst possible has happened.
Yeah.
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 There is nothing which has not happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you have not seen.
Correct. And see still the power of equity, power of investments, power of staying invested. So SIPs should not be touched.
Okay.
Guided to better quality, low beta stock, you will survive a correction which may be around.
Right. So, Amisha ji, with whatever you're saying, that means that the fundamental story of India is intact. Even though we might see a correction, the fundamental story still stands very, very strong, whether it is with the financialization of household savings or the inflow, with the domestic investors staying strong. Tell us, where do you see the benchmark in a decade from now, and how can one go about generating alpha in their portfolio?
So 2021-22, when we were doing a little strategy thing, we were seeing that this being the India's golden decade. Of course, this is the kind of decade which took Japan, China or Korea into next level of per capita.
Sure.
Yeah.
And demographic being the most critical aspect, but there are catalysts which puts that demographic into place. So if we do a little maths, of a kind of 7.5% GDP, and with the 4-5% inflation, so 12-13% kind of a growth,
Sure.
Yeah.
and a 14% kind of a nifty earnings growth.
Okay, which is modest enough.
Correct?
Decent, yeah.
And you give this a 1.1, 1.2 market cap to GDP.
Okay.
Right? This is the range in which we remain. So I've not taken anything out of the blue.
Yeah.
We will see those days, that time Nifty was about 12, 14,000. That time we said that Nifty will be in the range of 32 to 40,000, depending on we are at 1.1 or 1.3 market cap to GDP. So 2030 and before, we should be seeing Nifty. It's not a decade from now.
Right,
I
right.
correct
End of this decade.
Yes,
End of this,
end
yeah.
of this decade.
Yeah.
By 2030, we should be seeing Nifty in the vicinity of 32, 33 to 40,000, depending always whether this year or that year that we touch that magical 1.3, 1.4 market cap to GDP. So there is enough and more for all of us. Only thing to be kept in mind is market do not give every year a 50%
Yep.
return.
Right.
When it gives for 2 years a slightly larger return, there is a possibility it will give 15-18% return, and then there will be one big year again.
Right. Right.
Nothing is linear in market.
Absolutely.
That is why it is very important. It is said that do not try to time the market.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
time in the market is very
Yes, stay put.
Stay put.
Thanks very much, Amisha ji. It was really a pleasure speaking to you, understanding the kind of insights that we get from you, of course, are valuable. And of course, I'm sure our viewer also gets benefited out of it.
Absolutely, my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for
Thank you
taking the
so
time
much.
out, ma'am.
Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.